What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today we are going to take a look at two Supermans right in front of you. One is Superman from BBTS from Inart, and the other one is from Justice League from Hot Toys. So there is a price difference between the two. There's an age difference as well. I think the age difference is, it's not as significant as the DX11 because DX11 came out, 2011, 12? This one came in 4 years ago, around 2020 when I reviewed it. So, and then the Superman is from Inart, came out last year. So, sure, there is a 4-year gap. There's also a big price gap because the Inart one retailed for $3.99 for the most part. It varies because they don't have Sideshow, so depending on where you buy. But I'm basing it off the most reputable dealer for them, which is from Hong Kong. It's $3.99 shipped, while the Justice League is $2.45 without shipping and tax. Let's take out tax, but with shipping, maybe add another $20. So let's say $2.65. So there's $1.35 difference between the two. Now let's take a look at some accessories that it comes with, and we'll start off with the hands. The hands, I've said this about Inart. This is his hands from Hot Toys. The one on the right, the one on the left is the Inart version. With Inart, as you can see here, they have specific hands for specific scene. Like this, when he caught the grenade launcher that does have the kryptonite powder on it. And then the hands, when you compare them, the texture is lighter, of course, the skin tone, but the open palm hands. And ironically, when you have it in a figure, like Superman's hands on Inart looks kind of beefy because he's a big guy, but comparing it to the Hot Toys hands is bigger, but I guess the fingers are a bit more chunkier on the Inart. And I just like how the fingers it's just a natural hand position for Inart compared to the Hot Toys. The biggest deal I have with Hot Toys is that you can interchange their hands. Like these hands also belongs to Thor. If you have a Thor and you have a Man of Steel, outside of the skin tone, it's basically the same hands. They kind of changed it when I had my Black Adam. It feels like that Black Adam hands are specifically for The Rock. But other than that, the gestures and all that stuff still remains the same. And look at this. This is a different gesture again for Man of Steel. And I love that about Inart is that every hand feels like it's tailor-made for the figure that they are doing at that particular moment. They're not worried about, hey, we're going to retool new hands. They're not worried about that. They're, maybe because they're still smaller. I don't know, but I love it for them. Look at this. This is specific for Man of Steel. Now, accessories part. You can see we only got one stack here. There is none for Hot Toys. Granting this is Superman, where you don't really need much accessories, but this extra cape, this is the drape cape. You got to be creative. If you are charging $3.99 for a figure, you can't just come in with just nothing. So, and I love this. These are all scene specific, like this, but that's how Superman is. There are moments in time in the picture, in this movie, that you want to recreate. Maybe it's just one scene, maybe it's multiple scenes. Like this grenade launcher that he caught, that's one scene, but what else are you gonna do, right? Like, this is why we collect figures, because some of us who takes pictures wanted to recreate that, maybe an iconic moment. Maybe it's not, but it is a moment. So with that being said, I like how they became creative and be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna include some stuff in here. Or like this is the kryptonite. Well, on Justice League, this never really came into play, so that's kind of unfair. But if we're gonna do BBS, they do have a kryptonite, which is better because that one lights up. Why I didn't choose the BVS is that it only has one head sculpt, so it's unfair for that. This one also comes with this Batman cowl, where as you can see, there's indentation, so you have a specialized hand. What a surprise for this. It's magnetic, so you'll have him holding that cowl, and it's beautiful. Now you also have some Polaroid pictures. Maybe it's a little too many, but it is what it is. Maybe I just need one. but it's there, right? Like, I like the fact that there's 5 instead of 1, and then they're creepy, they're nicely done. He can hold it again, just very specific scene. It happened one time, but those are the things that you could recreate if you, as a collector, maybe you want to put it in that display. If we're talking about Superman, you only have limited accessories. And again, I like the fact that they became aware of this. And then you get the Kryptonite Spear, which Superman never really held. This should be an accessory for Batman. But somehow, some way, even though I think that the price tag is, somewhat palatable, they feel like they needed to include more. And honestly, just the cape itself. Right? Like, if you buy a custom cape, and maybe this is not the best quality cape, but I like it. I don't think you need a custom cape for this, but the cape itself could run from $50 to $100, depending on who you buy it from. Now, if you, let's say at 50, because of the price difference, let's say $260 to $400, now you only have a difference of $90 if we're adding the value here. Now, as far as the base, you have different base in here. This is the Justice League base. It didn't came with that. It actually came with this flight pole, which I am not a big fan of, as you know. So now I kind of just do my way, because I'm never going to put him on that flight pole. So I give him the crotch grabber. I put him in there, and then he stands, and then if for whatever reason I want him flying, I'll put that. But with Inart, you don't have to have a pole. So it's a much cleaner, streamlined look. So it does have that magnet. On Joker, I just had some issues, not yet on Superman and Aragorn. So as you can see, it's also smaller. It gives you less footprint in your display, so it looks just so much cleaner and nicer. And you can see he does have what I do have right now is the wired cape, which is an option, but I do like the fact that it's included. Now, if you want to fancy your way into making Superman fly, this is what you're gonna do. So you're gonna insert the dynamic stand that it normally comes along with. Not a big fan of this. I never was, where you clamped it down, especially on Superman, where his suit has textures. With him, with the Inart, there is a cover that I already removed. So you're gonna insert this. It's a transparent pole, and what you're gonna do on the back is there's a zipper. You pull it up, and then you'll see a hole in here where you just attach it's not even in the future, maybe they'll do magnets, but then at the same time that might damage the suit. So I understand why they went this route. Now I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble here because there's a camera literally in my chest as I'm doing this, but it's a fairly simple process. The best way is when you get the base and get it across your body. But I'm telling you right now, it's not this difficult. It's just the circumstances behind it. So you put it in there, in his back. So it's just a slot. You slot it in. It's nothing complicated. And then you get this nice clean look. And not only is it clean, you're also not risking your figure to be damaged in the future. The only damage you might have is by unzipping that zipper, and maybe over time it just falls apart. But if it did, it's in the back. There's no cape. You can cover up with a cape. There's never a point where Superman has no cape anyway. But look at this. Very clean and very safe. Now, the big one here, in my opinion, is the body proportions outside of the head sculpt. The skin tone, you can see it. The Inart one, I think, captured it where he's a bit more light and it's not super tanned. But you can see just how the figure stands. The Superman on the right, when you're looking at your screen, which is the Hot Toys one, looks like he does have some football padding on his shoulders. I like the look. Don't make no mistake about it. I like the look, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's super accurate, They both have that silver body, this chrome body at the base of the figure. Hot Toys has thunder quads. He got some big, big legs right there. But I feel like just the overall look, the way the hands sit on the side of his body, The suit itself is just better on Inart. The height, there's a bit of a height difference here, but I don't think it's that significant. But just the overall look, it feels like Cavill is really, standing in front of you when it comes to body proportions for the Superman. You can see from the side as well, the shoulders is just protruding for the Hot Toys. Like I said, it feels like he does have a padding for football. You can even see how the sleeves just falls off, hiding that ball joint. As you can see here in the Hot Toys one, it's a bit smaller. I guess, it's a different movie, but I think Inart, whether it's accurate or not, I didn't even care to look deeply into it. Whether it's accurate or not, we can all agree that aesthetically is better. Now we're going to the head sculpt, and let's start off with the laser eyes here. With Hot Toys, it looks like he has a disease when it's not lit up. It looks like he caught something, a pink eye or whatever. Although I never had any issues with it up until I got the Inart version. This one, moves around. It doesn't. The Hot Toys one doesn't really have a, quote unquote gimmick on it. It doesn't light up, but it moves the eyes. It has a rolling eyeball system, compared to the Hot Toys where you have this kind of post that you're going to put in his neck, and it does light up. It requires batteries, but it does light up. So you put it in. I mean, it is a pretty cool effect, I must say. That's a cool looking effect right there. But the teeth and everything else, I think we can all agree that we're going to give this point to Inart when it comes to this head sculpt. Again, I was happy, and I'll show you how to move the eyes. Sometimes the eyes gets caught when you're inserting the head, but it's easy to move it around, and there's a certain technique to do it without moving it around. But overall, just remove the gimmicks and whatnot. I think we can all agree that Inart captured the likeness of Henry Cavill a lot more than Hot Toys did. Now, this is the only picture that I can see where he does, and he has wearing a black suit here. Maybe that's where Hot Toys kind of, or Inart used the reference, but with the teeth and all that stuff, not a big fan. I mean, at least now. I was, again, 4 years ago, I was happy to have this. I never really had an expressive head sculpt, but now, we're going to take a look at the neutral head sculpt here. Again, I never had any issues with the Hot Toys one back then. I thought it wasn't 100% likeness, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I guess you don't know what you don't know until, it hits you in the face. And here we go. Here's Inart. And we got this head sculpt now, which is, my goodness. And on the side, whatever side you put him on, it's night and day here. Again, Hot Toys is not bad. It's a pretty good looking, image. You just don't put it right next to Inart, because now the flaws are going to start showing. I even saw Cavill in the Hot Toys when I first reviewed it. I mean, I can't look at it the same now, but with that being said, it's still a pretty good likeness. It's just not, close, I would say. And then you factor in the rolling eyeball system. My goodness. So if we include the drape cape, right? The body. Let's say more people are improving the body of their Superman, getting Fison body. The difference now is $90. I think if you are a huge fan of Cavill, and I gave him a lazy eye right there, you can justify that $90 if you are a huge fan. And look at this with him right there. I should have made him look to the side, but the way the hair is parted, the eyes, the skin tone, everything is just, I think it's a clear, just the shape of the face as well. I mean, the Hot Toys, comparatively is not terrible, but I'm a huge Superman fan, so this is one of those things where I was like, I gotta get the best version possible if it ever goes down to a price that I wanted to. And this is one thing that I don't like about the Hot Toys version as well. So for Inart, you got one plug, right? It's a lot easier than that. Again, when it's close to your body, it's a lot easier. So you get this plug right there because it's easier, especially with moving eyeballs, that you insert them. With Hot Toys, I understand why they have this peg, because it does light up. I get it. So you flip this on, it lights up, and I kind of wish Inart did the same thing, but I guess the rolling eyeball system would just hit and then it would just throw it off. So this one's beautiful. I like the gimmick. Now the problem lies when you wanted to use the regular sculpt, because now it has a different peg. Why can't you just put a hole in it, kind of like this head sculpt? It doesn't have rolling eyeball system, so you just peg it in. Now I gotta remove the black part altogether, because otherwise this would just not. And it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not the hardest, but we're all about efficiency here. But final thoughts on this two Supermans right here by Hot Toys and Inart. They're both pretty good figures. It depends on you now. It depends on your budget and how much you love Man of Steel / Henry Cavill. We have a new Superman now, so this might be irrelevant to some people moving forward, but I personally love his rendition of Superman. I love BVS, I love Man of Steel, heck, I even love Justice League. So for me, the extra funds was worth it. The biggest gripe I had with Inart back then was the buying experience. I just, I'm not comfortable buying it from Hong Kong with the price that they're asking for. I didn't buy this from Hong Kong. I bought it from one of our BST groups. It came from, I think, Texas or something like that. So I never really had to wait. Didn't had to put a down payment or 10%. Heck, I even got it right away. I didn't have to fight where's my figure and all that stuff. But moving forward, that they have, it looks like they're being available now on Big Bad. I don't have to worry about that in the future. I got Legolas on pre-order, so hopefully they release more DC, because I love DC. And if they do, and if the buying experience increases, I'd buy more Inart. Because honestly, until Hot Toys make their Inart, their Artisan Superman, this looks great in my opinion. But let me know in the comments, do you think it's justifiable, the price difference? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.